You won't believe it. Considering leaving, Golden still swooped in, draining all life essence like a vampire. Then, he injected that energy into Blackhand, completely smashing his combat skills, cranking it up to max, and giving him insane stamina and self-defense capability. Those fake claw powers turned into razor-sharp demonic iron claws under the influence of evil, and with a combo of sweet and tough tactics, the orcs were too scared to defy him, so they became total pushovers. At Golden's command, orcs surged toward the human realm, ready for war. The human army swiftly arrived at orc headquarters under the king's lead. But outside the camp, the king saw the bodies of the twin kings cruelly hanging in the wild, and he was immediately shocked, realizing he had misunderstood. As the orc army flooded in, the king thought, with this little force, we're toast. But he still decided to lead the charge. They first rescued captives, then targeted the dark portal. Horns blew, both sides clashed fiercely. Although other races refused aid, the dwarves, after heartfelt deliberation, changed their minds. They sent the king a load of firearms, like super weapons on the battlefield, giving a glimmer of hope for victory. But just as the tide began to turn in favor of the human, Golden approached the captured humans like a real villain, viciously draining their life force and flooding the dark portal with fell energy, instantly unleashing hordes of orcs. The war situation turned hazy again. Khadgar finally returned to Stormwind. He turned the gods into sheep with a lightning spell, but it was such a joke, it only worked like a charm for a minute on the smart ones. After rescuing Lothar, Khadgar picked up charcoal and drew a magic circle, but the teleportation needed tons of magical energy. The magic circle acted like an energy loophole, helping Khadgar to concentrate magical energy to open the portal. The special runes and designs Khadgar drew in the circle were like GPS coordinates telling the circle where he wanted to go. Once Khadgar activated the magic, the circle would seek and open a portal, whisking people off to their destination. With that, the two of them teleported in a blink of an eye to Khagan. As soon as Lothar landed, he was snatched up by Medivh's dark magic. Medivh's arcane power turned golden under fell influence, and just as Lothar was about to be crushed alive, Khadgar charged in without hesitation. After saving Lothar, Khadgar unleashed an arcane missile, but they all went wildly astray. When Medivh's spell echoed, the golem instantly activated, its eyes flickering with fell energy, slowly closing in on Lothar. But on touching the holy pool, it got petrified, probably due to the massive energy. It exceeded the golem's capacity, causing its magical structure to collapse and turn to stone, giving Lothar the chance to leap on top of it. Khadgar quickly erected an arcane barrier, only to nearly be ripped in half by Medivh, and barely managed to hold on before getting smashed by the golem from behind. After taking care of Khadgar, Medivh turned his attention to Lothar, planning to blast him with the golden arcane hit, but accidentally hit the golem instead, blowing off half its head. Medivh seemed to regain a bit of sanity, and the dark portal began to wobble. Seeing this, Lothar gave Khadgar a wake-up slap, and they agreed to split up. Khadgar drew Glitz on the ground, while Lothar's job was to lead Medivh to the holy pool, trying to tug on his heartstrings. Having grown up together, they aimed to use emotions to break the control, but Medivh was totally oblivious. Medivh didn't go all out. He just tossed Lothar away, but somehow sensed a flicker of his own awakening. With the holy pool's aid, his form completely transformed into the evil titan Sargeras. In a critical moment, Khadgar timed his teleport spell perfectly. The golem smashed Sargeras and absorbed the holy pool's energy, pinning the demon down. Without Sargeras' guidance, the dark portal shut forever, bringing hope to humans. They quickly rushed to the prison site to rescue the captured civilians, but Khadgar himself fell into the holy pool. The fell energy swiftly corroded his body and will, but at the same time, he gained terrifying power. In a blink, his eyes flashed coldly, fixated on Lothar, thankfully with a sliver of sense left. He cast a barrier around Lothar, then tried direct contact to free Medivh's soul. At this critical moment, Khadgar recalled the Guardian's words, light and darkness complement each other. As soon as he completed the counter-spell, a golden light erupted from him, successfully banishing Sargeras. The clash of powers triggered a fierce energy shockwave, resulting in an explosion, and everything around them was obliterated in an instant. As the dust settled, Lothar saw that Khadgar was safe and couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. He gazed deeply at Medivh but said nothing, then jumped from the tower to the battlefield, racing against time to save the king. Revived Medivh knew time was short and sought to fulfill his guardian duties at the last moment. He desperately tried to amend his mistakes, exhausting his last bit of energy to change the dark portal's destination to Stormwind. In the midst of negotiations, the king felt a flicker of hope for survival, and the soldiers were invigorated, charging one last time towards the portal. With newfound vigor, they forged a bloody path and swiftly seized the portal, but the king didn't evacuate right away. He personally led the charge beside his soldiers, holding the line, but Medivh had already hit his limit. The orcs kept coming, and there was no turning back, but the soldiers stood firm, refusing to budge an inch. At the cost of their lives, they built an unbreakable shield wall for the people, managing to get most civilians through the portal. The orc numbers kept swelling, surrounding the portal, while Medivh's magic was completely drained. After shedding one last tear, he departed this world with deep remorse, and the portal abruptly ceased to function. The king knew Medivh was gone, escapees killed by orcs, but he remained dedicated to his people.